I own all the docks in Venice. I owned all the docks, every single one of them. I believe I built the docks, or basically anyway, I basically ended up owning all the docks somehow. Um, that's why Carnival. Generally, when you go to a dock in Venice, you actually have to pay taxes or whatever, and that's why the Titanic and Lusitania actually didn't pay any money at all because they would go there and they would dock for free because I owned all the docks. So and they were my ships, so my ships docked there free. It was kind of maybe an unfair thing because I would charge for the upkeep. I would charge other ships to dock on my docks because, well, I mean, I paid for the upkeep. I paid for the city. I actually ended up owning every single building in the city, and was actually also started like a 30-some million or $300 million upgrade plan. For some reason, Venice is really expensive, or something like that, to be rebuilt to be building on it. There's like I guess it's because there's a lot of silt in there, so they have to drive the pylons down really deep and stuff like that. I don't know. It shouldn't be $300 million. I don't know. It should have been like I think it was a $30 million rebuilding plan to fix up all the buildings and get them all nice and fixed up. Take down the wood. I mean the brick buildings and rebuild them as concrete or something nice. Something that would look good. Of course, the brick actually worked out really good because it didn't really move around, but earthquakes and stuff like that could affect it and stuff because there's actually like two plates or something like that, or something. It's like uneven or something like that, where one side of Venice or something was going up for a minute there or something like that, or down or something. It was moving around a little bit, but anyway, I forget exactly what it is. There's a fault line underneath it or somewhere around in there. Anyway, though, but the point is that I ended up owning all the docks, and we actually had to take down some buildings to actually make room so the big ships could get through and allow some small ships to get in, because otherwise it's really a cool sight though to see those great big ships coming in there and stuff like that. And we started doing that because the thing was the Titanic actually couldn't get in there. They couldn't fit the when we built the Titanic. I never really thought of how big it was, so it went to go and dock at Venice. And then they realized, well, sir, I think we just scraped some paint off there, but we got in. The Titanic. By the time the Titanic got in there, it was like, whoa, and they're they actually scraped some paint off, so they had to move some of the buildings back a little bit to make their channel a little bit bigger, which meant this whole new building. I'm pretty sure it's like a $300 million building project with Venice or something like that, because I was like, well, it's my city and I want it to be nice, and it's a really cool city. I mean, it's got this great big. I think we might have pushed it back a ways or something. At some point in time, it was further up, I think, and what we did was we went ahead and excavated some more dirt and pushed it back into the mountain a little bit more. So there's something like that. We did this big plan where we're actually adding more water space, where we actually moved the buildings or something like that, or did something psycho. I do a lot of psycho things. It's like, well, we got the money, so we're gonna do it. So, and it was like some odd year thing where we started moving a lot of dirt to excavate it back, and we're actually building more water space because it's like a little aquarium in there. I mean, it's really, really like a unique, cool place. And I've already put a lot of money into it. So we went ahead and kept it going, and we started moving it back. And that's where the opium guy gets in there. His opium guy was like not selling the opium or giving it away or something like that. He was getting opium people to try and do the work, but they weren't doing the work, and they were supposed to be fixing up the buildings, but he was just living in there and just saying that he owned the city or something like that. And so my people had to go in there and go, no, you don't, and kill him. And he was like, I'm Lord of Opium. And it got into this big battle where it's like, it's my fucking city. And that's when he started going, I'll find you. Damn you, Lucifer. I'll find you. Except he goes back in time or something like that, and not in present day. And so we get into this whole big fight, and like I say, So troops and men and all that and other stuff. Like I think what happened was he was a small time opium guy or whatever, and and I start this big huge building project, and he does all these lies and he's lying like crazy. It's like Rasputin or something like that. It's actually Rasputin, I'm pretty sure, in the past at Venice. Rasputin, Venice, and he's like this big time opium Chinese or whatever. Like he was dressed up as something, and some people thought he was something, and I think it is Rasputin. I think they say, oh, it's Rasputin. And I'm like, oh, that guy. I know that guy. Ah, yeah, he was a problem in Russia or something like that. So it's Rasputin or one of his Rasputins, actually, because like I say, there's lots of Rasputins. So anyway, so he was like this opium guy, and he was actually like stealing the money. Like he had taken over the contract or something like that somehow, or like killed the guy with the contract and was pretending to do it himself, but he was actually just getting free opium or something like that, and just being high as whatever, and then having sex with all the girls, and just living there like he was a king, basically, and not doing any of the work, but always requesting more money. He was requesting thousands of dollars. I think they said there was like $30,000 missing or something like that was accounted for. And this was back in the day, and he was buying the opium or trying to take over opium farm or something like that, and he wasn't actually fixing the city or doing anything. It was just falling apart. And it was really bad. So my people go in there. They kill his people or something like that, or kill him, and because there's a lot of Rasputins around apparently, and he gets all bad. He's like, "Dad," and all that, and we get a real construction company in there, and we really start moving the material and start building the new buildings and start getting it fixed up, because it wasn't getting fixed up. He was just lying about everything and saying more money. He'd go there. He'd go to the building and get money every day. And for the repair or the building project, but they were like using buckets to scoop the dirt or something like that. And it's like, you need equipment and all that, and there was equipment, but he sold it or something like that, and then didn't do any of the work because oh yeah, come here, baby. He'd rather do that. Like, yeah, I own Venice, he was saying. And the girl and people kind of believed him a little bit. So anyway, so he's kind of like in there with a bunch of his other guys, like, yeah, come be with the Rasputin. Have a Rasputin. He's like, have a Rasputin. And Rasputin, yeah. Like, yeah, it's a Rasput in the inn. Yeah, he was like that. And so my guys went in there, found him, drug out all his people, shot him or shot some people. He had some guns or whatever. We got into this big fight, and it's like, he was just like this, destroying the city. So, they rip him out, and then they start the building remodeling project finally. And I'm like, it's okay, go ahead, just pay more money. I'll pay more money. I don't care. I really love Venice. So they do this huge thing, and it looks much better now, but it was falling apart and all that. And like, he was also behind the "don't come here, you're destroying our houses," because good people and decent people were going to Venice, and the drug users and the drug dealers and the drug, like, oh, we just want to, and throw the shit out the window and have a rest. And it's like, no, there's children and women and people around there, and it brings in a lot of money. So the tour company actually won. The travel company was like, no, you're gonna leave, and it's our city. So anyway, so we got into this big fight and all that other stuff, and all the protesting. It's they're just paying the protesters out of the drug money or something like that, and they just want their and whatever. Anyway, but some people got killed, some people got locked up, and basically, it was a beautiful city and is a beautiful city, but anyway though, but Rasputin and some other people got in the way. So anyway though, but the tour company brings in a lot of money. So they were able to. They funded the remodeling with the tour company, and Rasputin was like, "You won't get any of my money, any of my opium money," and we were like, "Fuck you, keep it." And he went and bought guns or something like that, and we just do all the repairs ourselves. So anyway, because the tour company makes a lot of money, makes a lot of money. So and we just rent out the houses when people come and stay. They rent the houses and plus the tour company. It all pays for itself legally, legitly. So we just to them.